Guys, today I'm gonna be remaking my tier list of Blue Protocol dungeons, so let's get right into it. As you can see, Goblin is still dead last, even though it's gotten a bit more difficult, especially in Master 5, but it's still glorified ping pong, even though the shield is bigger now. Tower has changed a lot. It used to be second easiest, but now there's a big DPS check, and you basically require one person to group up the little mobs so you can survive the dimension thing. Laser hits harder, everything hits harder, but it's still not the worst. Now Kanamiya has fallen to the second easiest because it's no longer that much of a crazy DPS check. You still need a lot of damage to beat the final boss, but if you have the strategy for the will trial and the flame reavers, that kind of stuff, and if you know to get all the spears too low instead of DPSing them like crazy, you will make it out of there. The main thing that people have to do is get the flames out of the center. So once that's figured out, and usually people figure it out after 2 or 3 retries, unless they're AFK, in which case you're pretty much cooked. But once you figure that out, Konami is not that bad. It is still a bit of a gear check though. Mm. Tower is now in the middle, and the dragon has risen from the middle. The dragon became pretty overpowered because the shield storm does a lot of extra damage. And one thing that was always a problem with dragon is the insta kills. So if the tank isn't doing their job, it's basically a fail. Like a lot of this dungeon just depends on the tank, and during the storm also the healer. And tower is still, I think, the most heal intensive. No, apart from Dark Mist, maybe. Like I think Dark Mist is the worst for healers because it generally needs an Oracle. Tower you can manage with a Bard or like a wrong spec Oracle, but it's tougher. For this one, you do need an Oracle, especially because of the green things that explode and during the storm. So we come to Dark Mist. Dark Mist is the worst dungeon now. It's basically impossible without the glitch where you get the boss stuck in phase 1 by reviving as a tank. It is a tank only glitch, so if you got a tank that can do it, that's good for you. If you don't, your run is pretty much cooked. For Tina, after you learned how to iframe the clones, it's not as much of a DPS check, but it's still a huge mechanics check. Like everybody has to pay attention to the Void Sigil, and often people just don't manage to do that. There's also like things that stun you during the cleave. There's the cleave. There's the pizzas that are moving on the ground. There's a whole lot of stuff in Tina that's really hard for beginners. Like once you get it, once it clicks, it makes sense. It becomes an okay dungeon to do, especially if you iframe the clones. But it is really stressful to do it with like a random team. Darkness is stressful with any team, I think. Like there's always gonna be someone who's gonna forget some mechanic or get one shotted by something. Like in Dark Mist, there's 3 freaking phases. Like the first phase, which is pretty much normal. After that, there's the balls that you have to pick up. The what do you call them? The purple balls. You can't touch the yellow ones. The tank has to spam the button to hold up the shield. After that, everyone has to go right to cleanse. Like before the boss, you go left to cleanse, so you have to move right, and you have to move there real fast because if you don't, you're gonna get hit by extra void when crossing the midline. You can't cross the midline the whole time. There's like 9 circles on the ground that you have to dodge, and they're pretty hard to dodge. Like at least one of them is nearly guaranteed to hit you. Um, yeah, and after that, there's like a weird transition phase that I still haven't figured out. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. I think people should stay away from each other, but I'm not sure. And for the arrows, they also need to stay away from each other and point at the teammates. Like the arrows have to point at them. There's like so much IQ involved in this, and if you get bad RNG, you will get the red stripes on the ground at the same time as the arrows, and then one person is nearly guaranteed to die. And the final phase, both the healer and the tank have a job to do. The DPS is pretty much just attack the boss, but the tank has to lure the other guy away, and the healer has to cleanse because there's no more healing, no more cleansing things. So yeah, Dark Mist definitely takes the cake now. I underestimated it in hard mode because the mechanics were not as punishing. But now that you actually see the effects of every mechanic, even the ones that the game doesn't tell you about, which is crazy, it's just cooked. But yeah, that was it. That was a tier list. Hope you guys enjoyed.